and welcome to ECHE Music TV. I'm your host, Simone Henry, and we provide tips, tools, techniques, and resources to help you grow your music ministry. Today, I have an interview with Lisa Franco, who is a multi-instrumentalist, and she has gained recognition for her work in therapeutic music. But I'll give you more information about that. We're going to talk today about a particular stream of income called self-produced concerts. But before we get to that, our first song today is by an artist from Amsterdam named Leon Leefine. And his song is called To Be Near You.
Can't seem to make this day, not sure which way to go, but your great exchange will pull me through. I know all I do wrong, I mess up every day, but I know by your cross I can stay. So I've come to be near you, so I've come to be near, to be near you, to be near you, to be near you, my God, to be near you, my God, to be near you. I am a broken soul, they're much beyond repair, but I know that you will never let go. I know the pain I've caused, mistakes that I have made, but I know your forgiveness and love. So I have come to be near you, so I have come to be near, to be near you, to be near you, to be near you, my God, to be near you, my God, to be near you. You swap my pain for healing, you swap my sorrow for joy, you swap my heartache for peace, you exchange my heart of stone and fill it with love, you fill it with love. So I've come to be near you, so I've come to be near, to be near you, to be near you, to be near you, my God, to be
Welcome back. This is ECHE Music TV. I'm your host, Simone Henry. Today, our topic is self produced concerts. My guest, Lisa Franco, and I talked about what it is and how you can do it too. So, without further ado, let's roll the first part of my interview with Lisa Franco. Welcome, Lisa Franco, to ECHE Music TV. I almost forgot the name of my show. The ECHE Music TV. We got talking, and I forgot all about how to do my intro.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
So we're talking today about self-produced concerts, and that is a term that you came up with. That's something that you do. So I would love for you to tell us, what is a self-produced concert?
Well, it's something that I have learned over the past few years, as all of our artists know, that the record industry and the promotion managers, agents, all those things that used to thrive in past years has sort of dried up as far as availability, and they don't have enough going on to keep them existing. So the artist has had to learn to take control of their own situation, actually, and the amount of venues compared to the amount of artists worthy of performing in venues is sort of off balance. So a lot of great artists end up, not getting these slots and these gigs in these coveted places because we outnumber the venues. So a lot of artists will sit idle because of it. And there's so many buildings in the country, and there's so many ways that you can self-promote concerts, create the whole thing from beginning to end. Granted, we are a touring act, so we usually have a theater date or a larger venue as an anchor date which help us choose which direction to tour. But after that anchor date, it's really up to us to fill in the blanks. So we find churches. Churches are the perfect size, seating 100 or 200 people. Churches of every denomination often are welcoming of music and events because they can benefit too. We usually offer a 70-30 split. Quite often we're sending an email or a letter to a first-time person who thinks, that would be a nice idea, but we don't know how to do a concert. And then we assure them, don't worry, the things that you'll have to do are minimal. We will handle this and this and this, which is basically the promotion and the posters and the flyers and the leaflets. All they have to do is reach out to their own people, their own congregation. They may accept me mailing a few posters to put up on the bulletin boards, and the rest is up to us. So we stress to them that it is a no risk, nothing to be afraid of, very easy to do, that we are all going to benefit from. And quite often they'll make several $100s of their cut just for enjoying some music and helping us out a little bit with the promotion. But we assure them that we do this all the time and we know exactly what we're doing. And every step along the way that I've learned is sort of what I put together in the book so that everyone else can actually do it. It's not rocket science. It's just little tasks in a correct order that are very, very effective.
Okay, so this is kind of a situation where I like to call it a concert in a box. Like, we'll bring you the concert,
exactly,
and you provide the audience.
That's right.
That
or
kind of how it works?
Actually, it's just the building, because a lot of the presenters might be afraid, well, I don't know if we can get, Thelma Lou will come and her family, but I don't think we can get an audience, and they're sort of afraid. So we are assuring them that we will provide the audience, and how we do that is by naming a show, something that sounds really interesting. Like we have a show called Legends of the Celtic Harp, and we tell stories and play music through time, and we have other show, Wondrous Stories and Amazing Instruments, and that sort of thing that draws people in. So I basically just go through the standard, filling out the calendars on all the events page of the newspapers. Most people don't realize news shows and TV channels all have their calendars of events with that strong show title right in front. Put your name later, especially if you're not as known in the area, but just have a strong show title, and people will come. They will come. They're looking for something to do. They're reading the papers. Most importantly, I write to the editor of the paper a personal note with our little press release that says, this is a very special show. We're touring through on this day. The people of the town would probably really enjoy hearing this music. And by the way, we're also stopping at the so-and-so school to be a presentation for the elementary kids. So that's another part that I stress in my book, is this really get clear on how you're going to pay it forward as you go. Because if you're just another band listing your show in the press release and the calendar, that's pretty ho-hum. But if you are a band that's also visiting old folks' home to do a free concert for their residents, or doing a presentation for the kids at the school, or stopping by the hospital lobby to play some music, then you have a human interest story. Then you have a press release. So getting clear on your mission. For example, for me, I stumbled into doing therapeutic hospital music, and that has been my lead all the time, because every time I go to a town, I not only do a concert, but I check out, would the music be welcome in the hospital? Would they like to do a little lunchtime thing, no cost to the hospital? I do something really nice, fill up the time on the road, and then have something else to talk about in a press release. So it's a win-win for everybody by doing it that way. So whatever turns on the musician. Are you a fishing expert? Are you a writer? Are you a travelogue person? Have you got an interesting travel blog? Anything that is special about you, of which there's something special about everybody.
Right.
That's where you go, because it needs to be authentic. It needs to be what you care about. Are you a master chef? Well, maybe you could do some music at the such and such place as an offering for the such and such. Just there's something that you can tie into more than your performance.
Just your music. Okay, that sounds pretty awesome. So going back to when you were talking about naming your show, something interesting that will make people want to come.
Exactly.
That kind of strikes me, because working with independent artists, when they go to different towns and cities, a lot of people don't know their name. So putting your name on a flyer doesn't really grab people's attention that much. So that branding of that name makes a huge difference.
Susie Q, the folk singer, is not going to bring people out. But if she called it Enchanting Love Songs from Around the Globe, that's going to bring out Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, because it sounds very nice, and there's got to be
like a good date night.
Something about your show that is going to bring out the people you care about and sing about animals, or the welfare of such and such, or whatever is your deep inner mission. That has to be forward, and it has to be presented in a way that just looks appealing. Are you special? Are you a special banjo player? Well, there's probably some awesome history of the banjo that you're can include, and have some leaflets, or just make it a theme. Find the theme of your show, and let that carry you through your title of your show and the way that you market the show. If that's how you want to get butts in seats, everywhere we go, we can at least get 100 or 200 people that have never heard of us before into a building, and that's a pretty miraculous thing, considering they have all this incredible cable TV and all these reasons to stay home. Just to get people to go out, I think people are very willing, as long as they sort of trust something about your show title that's going to make it okay for them. And even expand your show. Why not have beautiful slides behind you of imagery or space, or just something that you can now call it an interactive multimedia presentation of all different forms of love, or so, there's just so many things. The great wonders of the world, with the most beautiful folk music of the Appalachian tradition, or you can massage it out of whatever you're doing and really go with that. And that is the key towards creating your own.
We're going to take a break there, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about how you got started in it, and how other artists can get started, like your best advice for other artists to get started in it. Okay. Welcome back. This is ECHE Music TV. I'm your host, Simone Henry, and we are talking to Lisa Franco about self-produced concerts. So the first part of the interview, we talked about what is a self-produced concert. And when we come back from this break, we are going to talk to her about how she got started in it and how you can get started. But first, we're going to listen to a song called More and More by Josiah Williams. We'll be right back.
Dear Lord, I follow your word when I'm ready for it. That sound crazy. crazy, don't it? I'm infatuated with happiness, living in the moment. Black or white is never follow, cause I settle for gray. I live for the day and I'm letting my joy slip away. I've been losing my focus, slowly becoming hopeless. You treat me like I'm yours, I treat me like I'm broken. Father who art in heaven, I have become a weapon. And I backfire far away from your presence, I'm lost. I'm drifting, my heart has been conflicting. I know just what is missing, but I only feel like quitting cause I'm lost. I'm drifting, my heart has been conflicting. It's dark, then it hits me. I fall, but you lift me. Do not be anxious, but in every situation, look up and give thanks to the ruler of these nations. I pray for the days when I embrace the patience and I'll stand on the stage with elation and say, I want a whole lot of more of what you got for me, Lord. I know that you're waiting, sitting at the top for me, Lord. I know you're my solid ground, you're the rock for me, Lord. Heard you got a plan for me and was not for me, Lord. So I'm bowing my head and I'm closing my eyes, but I open my heart so you can open my mind. Lord, I'm bowing my head and I'm closing my eyes, but I open my heart so you can open my mind. I want follow your word like it's optional, only when it's optimal. I walk away and come back when I'm ready like the prodigal. I'm feeling lifeless, I'm unholy and righteous. I've been praying for sanity, but I'm craving excitement. I don't know why I've been falling onto this track that I'm walking in. I feel bad for ignoring every time that God has been calling. And yeah, I know it's only cause he want the best for me, but decisions that I make only mess up my testimony. I'm lost, I'm drifting, my heart has been conflicting. I know just what is missing, but I only feel like quitting cause I'm lost. I'm drifting, my heart has been conflicting. You tell me that you're with me, you're never gonna forget me. That's the moment I remember. I've been saved by grace, and I've been living, breathing every single day by faith. Your Holy Son is the one who you took up in my place. I'm walking better, cause I know I serve a God that's great. I want a whole lot of more of what you got for me, Lord. I know that you're waiting, sitting at the top for me, Lord. I know you're my solid ground, you're the rock for me, Lord. Heard you got a plan for me and was not for me, Lord. So I'm bowing my head and I'm closing my eyes, but I open my heart so you can open my mind. Lord, I'm bowing my head and I'm closing my eyes, but I open my heart so you can open my mind. I want
Welcome back. This is ECHE Music TV. I'm your host, Simone Henry. We're talking today with Lisa Franco about how to do self-produced concerts. So the next part of my talk with her, we're going to talk to her about how she got started with it and how you can get started as well. So here's the second part of my talk with Lisa Franco. Okay, welcome back. ECHE Music TV. I'm Simone Henry. We're talking to Lisa Franco about how she got started in self-produced concerts. So give us kind of the beginning. What's the beginning of this story?
Okay. Well, I actually was lucky enough that I had a big record deal with Wyndham Hill, and I got to tour all the fancy things with all the artists and managers for a while before the record industry sort of collapsed. But I came up as a self-made street performer, so I kind of had, and my own record label, so I kind of had my foot in both worlds. So by the time agents sort of disappeared and record labels folded, I was able and ready to create my own path based on everything I had been through and known. And everything I've done has really been logical, from tried and just from trying and failing and learning everything I can learn from it. And anybody can do this. And I'm going to go ahead and assume that you have a show together, that you know what you're doing, that your music is professional enough to present, which I'm sure your followers are.
Yeah.
And so, but then where do you go from there? just take a test run. Go look at your map and go 3 hours north and find a little town there. Little towns are easier than big cities because you can own it with every bulletin board, and you will get something in the paper, and people are looking for something to do. San Francisco, New York, LA is really hard to make something happen. So you're safe in a smaller size rural town. And just, find out where the venues can be: community center, churches, any kind of school building. There's always places. And a simple email, my book actually has the exact sample of email that you can write to introduce yourself very briefly, say what you're interested in doing, how it could be mutually beneficial. Most venues say, well, we don't have money for this. What is this going to cost? It costs them nothing. It's a 70-30 split. And, it's very low risk for everybody. So you pick a town 3 hours north and 3 hours west and 3 hours east, and you do a Friday, Saturday, Sunday weekend, right? And you just start small and modest, and you look to get 30 to 70 people to your show, name it, put it in the paper. This all happens at least a couple of months before the show. Press releases and all that 6 to 8 weeks before the show. But quite often we have our shows booked a year out. But a few months is fine if you're just starting small. And you make your beautiful posters, beautiful flyers. I have samples of all those things in my book. And it's actually very simple, step by step. I have a chart that marks off exactly when to do what to do in every situation, how to pick up the slack if maybe a presenter or a church lady wanted to do it, but then she got busy, or her husband's, all that stuff happens, and you could be totally on your own. They might just open the door for you, and that's it, but that's okay. That's all you need. You be prepared to do everything, and it's just a very in-house, authentic, organic way of doing things that your group can make, $1,000 to $2,000 in a show if everything is done right and 100 people come. And you do that 2 or 3 nights a week, and then you can go on to longer tours. We go out 10 days at a time, sometimes longer, and fill up every single night of the week. Weekday shows in churches start at 7, little potluck action. It's a win-win for everybody, and anybody can do it, for sure.
Okay. So show us the cover of your book.
Oh, here.
You got it with you.
Book. Yep.
Okay.
I actually use my middle name too, Lisa Lynn Franco. It's How to Succeed, and it's for performers and presenters. And quite often, presenters don't know what to do. So this is step by step. It has their own little squares. If you're a presenter, how much you want to get into this? Do you want to create a concert series? Do you want to, and so my hope is that I will have left this world with a lot more venues for musicians like us to play in. So,
awesome.
Yeah, the whole idea is you don't need to be limited by other things. You can create anything yourself. You can totally make it happen.
That's fantastic. So tell us a little bit more about you and your music. And my audience is Christian and gospel, and I know you're not, but you do go to churches, and you're traveling around to the different churches.
Yeah, we're doing beautiful harp music, original music. I'll send you some CDs. I will send you some so you can hear it. It's very uplifting. It's beautiful. We tell inspirational stories with our music. We use a lot of humor. It's instrumental music, so people can really use it to go somewhere else, and it goes well backing up stories and really beautiful things. So it's healing music. I actually come from a rock background, but I discovered folk music and the harp as an adult, and I really switched over to that. So it's really lovely. It's kind of Renaissance inspired, but it's mostly original music and some traditional Irish, Swedish folk music. And I feel really lucky that I can do this full time and with abundance, and have it all work out. Yeah, it was a long road, but anyone can do it. Yeah,
I think that's the goal of a lot of artists is to be able to do it full time.
Yeah, you just got to have a little magic with what you're doing. It's got to be good, and you got to be diligent with the tasks that you're willing to do. And once you get in the groove, it's not hard. It's automatic, and it's joyful. It's like catching fish, and you just catching fish all the time with every success. And it gets easier and easier.
Well, give us your website so we can buy that book.
Sure, yeah. You can get it either hardcover or a PDF copy. I just send it right over in a file to you. And it's on my website, lisalynne.com. And I'll spell that LISALYNNE.com.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for doing what you do.
You can get it either
Thank you.
hardcover or a PDF copy. I just send it right over.
Welcome back to ECHE Music TV. I'm your host, Simone Henry, and this conversation that we're having with Lisa Franco really struck me. I saw her on a Profitable Musician Summit a while back and had to have her on the show. What I like about self-produced concerts is that as an independent artist, when people don't know your name, how do you expect for people to call you and say, come to my church and perform? With this kind of way of doing things, you put together your own concept and you take it to them rather than waiting for them to come to you. So you're taking the bull by the horns and you're taking your music career in your own hands. Now, as she said, she is doing this full time, which I think is, that's the goal of everybody, right? To be able to leave the 9 to 5 and do your music full time, unless, you're a teacher or something, and, being a teacher is part of your calling as well. So who knows? But if you're interested in doing these self-produced concerts and you don't really have the time to do it, or you're having a hard time maybe finding the venues, I can help you with that. Go to echemusic.com/MMA. That's ECHE music.com/MMA and set up an appointment to talk to me. And I can give you the rundown of how I'm helping artists to do the same thing. Okay? So I look forward to talking with you. And we're going to go out with a song by Brad Irons called Prayers of the Prodigal. I'll see you next time.
I took a wrong turn on a street called Street, and I walked away from innocence. It was a hard hoe up a hill called hate, where I found a field of bitterness. And as a cold wind blew through my soul, I wandered into a wilderness. And like a lost child without a hope, I cried to you. Yes, I cried to you. And I wonder if you even listen to the prayers of a prodigal. It was a cold day in a really warm place when I walked away from everything. I took a fast train from the state of grace, where I found a friend called misery. And when he smiled at me, it was plain to see all he wanted was my company. But then I heard him say, there's no escape. And I cried to you. Yes, I cried to you. And I wondered if you even listened to the prayers of a prodigal. Prayers of a prodigal. I saw the sun rise through the early morning skies, and it woke me from my reverie. As I came face to face with my disgrace, I cried for what I used to be. But through the fading night, I could see the light that pointed me down to Mercy Street. But would I find a place at the gates of grace? As I cried to you, yes, I cried to you, and now.
Thank you for watching ECHE Music TV. Be sure to subscribe to this channel so you never miss an episode. To receive the free gift mentioned in this episode or to have your song featured, please visit us at tv.echemusic.com.